Good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Heyo and welcome in today. Today you're joined by me, Daniel, and we also today have Allan Redhill. Sorry, I'll just pause this for a second. There you go. So Allan Redhill here. Heya, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's awesome. Um, Yeah, so here's your work here on Allan Redhill's Instagram. You also have ArtStation. Do you have any other um, websites and things that you use?
Oh yeah, I got a Deviant as well,
Oh
DeviantArt,
yeah, yeah.
and on Artful I'm posting as well. But like on DeviantArt, I'm pretty dormant. I don't post there much. Uh, so if you really want to check out my art, I think Instagram or ArtStation is the best way to go.
Awesome. Yeah, so tell me a bit about yourself.
Sure. So um, before I basically got into art, I was like just drawing as a hobby, like
Mm.
everyone just doodling around. And a couple of years ago, I visited an art school, but I actually dropped out. Like I had pretty bad performances, and um, after that, I wasn't quite sure what to do with myself, basically. And I was drifting around for like 2 years or something. And I did a couple things, like I was in some weird government institution where they basically try to help you find a job. And
Mm.
I was also working as a teacher in a kindergarten for like a year or so.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, but all of that didn't quite work out. Like it was, especially in the kindergarten, it was pretty stressful because the situations with the families there were pretty difficult. So
Yeah.
you had like the full spectrum. You had families that had issues with debt or I don't
Mm.
know, drugs, domestic violence, the full thing, okay? And
Yeah.
after a while, it got too heavy for my taste, and I was pretty stressed out. And so I knew I needed a break or needed a change in some form. And that was when I started kicking myself a little bit for being so lazy in art school, dropping out there. And so I said, okay, you know what, screw it. I just quit the job and reapplied for art school. And yeah, the rest is basically history. I actually just graduated recently
Oh, nice.
with a pretty good grade, so
Oh, that's
it all worked out.
good. How many years was the course?
Oh, the art school itself was just 2 years,
Oh yeah, 2 years.
um, but it's not the end of the road yet.
Yeah.
I'm going on and to university now and
Yeah.
study communication design, so it's a little bit
Okay.
more intense than the previous course.
I see. I see. Yeah, because uh, you're in Germany?
Yeah, right.
Awesome. Yeah. So there, it's like college is just after um our high school. Is it our high school, isn't it? I think.
I'm not sure. That always kind of confuses me.
Yeah.
So when I was in art school, it was like the 11th and 12th grade, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's making sense. Yeah, it's a little confusing with that kind of thing, different states and things like that, how their, education systems go and that kind of
Yeah, true.
thing.
And they all have their own terminology, and it's a little bit messy.
Yeah.
So you visited an art school as well, or
Yeah,
do you
so
have some form of yeah?
so I at school wasn't really good at kind of English. I was failing kind of English class, things like that. And it was the second to last year of what we call our kind of high school. which is um, year 11, and that's where you kind of need to do this what we call NCEA. Your major grade that gets you everything. So it's failing that. It's getting only just made to get level 1 of it. And you know, I got directed to the School of Design. I wasn't exactly knowing where I was going. I know I liked, you know, 3D stuff, and I liked animation. At the time I was really into kind of Family Guy kind of animation stuff. Um, contacted, a few courses at the time to find out, how to get into the industry and all that stuff. But yeah, eventually that led me to visiting this design school. Um, and that design school, just after I left high school that year, was for that course was kind of what you call a bridging course. So it would take you from where the high school, the last years of school, to university if you wanted to go to university. So that
Yeah,
was
right.
2 years, and then after that, I went into the Wanganui School of Design, which later merged with UCOL, um, well, Universal College of Learning here in New Zealand. Um, and yeah, I did a 3-year course with them in computer graphic design,
Mhm.
um, with a kind of major in illustration. Um, so yeah, but every thing we got to do, I was changing it, like, because um, there were certain requirements that you had to have, make a design of this poster and make it do this, and I would change it to make sure that I would have to do an illustration or some sort of drawing for the actual, design or artwork or art piece I was doing or creating at the
Yeah,
time.
sure.
um,
Um, but so it's like the design school that you went to isn't wasn't the end of the road as well. It was just to get you kickstarted to university, right?
Pretty
Because
much.
yeah,
Even
yeah, there
after,
were
for me,
yeah,
even after, you're always trying to learn something new. Um, it never stops. It's a non-stop path, really.
yeah, of course, especially in art. Like there's no real finish line. No matter what skill level you are, I guess there's always something you don't know or
Mm.
not able to do yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's not a kind of a one size fits all either. It doesn't mean even if you've gone through college and school, you're not guaranteed a job. Um,
yeah,
and
of course.
and everyone will have a different outcome. Some um, absolutely don't do well in it, completely, fail it, or they go through it, the course, and they don't get anything out of it in the end. Um,
Yeah,
and
totally.
yeah, so it's the luck of the draw, and how much you put in, it's how much you get out. And yeah, it's like you said, it's not the end game. Um, yeah.
Yeah. So I think your school was probably very different, or not different, similar actually to the one I went to.
Mm,
So just how you described it, so it probably is kind of the similar thing. And also with the art school I went to, like um, if you really wanted, like if you're training to get like a job as, I don't know, a storyboarder, animator, whatever, then that's probably not the school you really want to visit because it's like very basic. It's for people that like do drawing as a hobby and really just want to get into the fundamentals. And most of the stuff we learned was like mostly theoretical. So you have like the usual stuff, history, uh, stuff like art composition and color theory and all that stuff. But it's not as intense as if you would like study at university or something like that, where you actually do like gesture drawing every day. You really learn about anatomy, animation, and all that stuff. So this is really like to have the foundation if you're not yet introduced into the nitty gritty of it all. But if you really want a good portfolio, like this is probably not the place, but it's good to get started, and you need the degree to actually move on. So it was definitely a good call going there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, with my course, it just started out like that, like you said, like, fundamentals and all that stuff. But then, you really got to go into the nitty gritty of it all. You can expand in the later years. We could expand, and really take it to the level you wanted to take it. So if you wanted to be an animator, you could make the things that you do about animation. You know, we got tasks that we had to do, um, like create a character or something like that. But you could do it in any way you wanted. You could have it a 3D model. You could have it an illustration. You could do it that way you wanted to, and really build um, on the skills that you had and wanted to explore, which was really good about that course. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Did you have the proper equipment at school as well? Like all the
Mostly we did.
all right.
Like you didn't have like supplied um, all the paints and all the pencils that you needed and everything like that.
Yeah, of course.
But they had like we had Macintosh computers at at school at that university. We had um, we had a Wacom. We had one Wacom in the class, um, and I was pretty much the only one that used it,
Okay.
which was
Yeah, I
interesting.
mean it's
Um,
better than nothing, right?
yeah, there were a few other people. I think there were a few the year before that used it, um, but really I was only the big user of it. Uh, that's what made me want to get my own. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
as
I think I also got into drawing like properly once I got my display.
mm,
Like I was probably one of the people that are a little bit that were like a little bit snobbish about analog drawing. Like, oh no, I'm never gonna do digital, right? So I had this idea of making my comic analog, and it was kind of stupid because that's pretty hard. Like doing a comic completely on paper is so time consuming.
mm,
But I got myself a display also eventually, and that was the moment when I actually started really practicing for art and actually getting like somewhere skill skill level to yeah, just increasing my skill level.
mm,
But it's nice that you actually had a tablet at school. Like even I think even my university, while we have animation software and pretty good computers, I don't think we have actual displays at school.
mm, yeah. So I was lucky with that, um, and some of the things that we did have through there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Sorry, just a quick question. I know you did like stop motion animation. You have some Lego videos on your channel as well, I guess.
Yeah.
But did you also practice 2D or like traditional animation? Did you ever
I
dabble in that?
No, I didn't really do much of that. At one stage, when I did that, Probably need to mute me on your side somehow. Um, but yeah, when I did that Lego animation, I think I was 15ish. Um, and so I was just playing around with things, finding out what I wanted to do really. And I did get like a for A3, no, A5, isn't it? Let's go A5. A5 paper book, and what I did was a stick figure animation thing with it. So, all I did was draw the stick man and made his head bigger and bigger and bigger, and then, his head exploded in the end, you know. Um, so, I had a bit of fun playing around with that kind of thing. But eventually I just got into just drawing more still images and creating and designing things. Um, then I
Yeah,
did
right.
that kind of animation thing.
Yeah. I just recently like got a little bit into 2D animation because for a long time I just was mostly focused on either comics or you know just like you, like illustrations, uh, just really pretty things.
Mm,
But I always wanted to try animation, but it was kind of intimidated by it because there are way more things you need to think about when you're animating than if you're just drawing. Like if you're, I always had this in my mind that if you're not like good enough to actually or already really comfortable with solid drawing and um, all those fundamentals, then you don't even need to attempt animation because those things you need to have like they should be second nature to you. Otherwise, it's just hard to learn it. But I tried it and it wasn't actually that bad. Like even if you're not that good at drawing yet, you should definitely try it out because it's really fun.
mm.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is very helpful, like, to move your characters and, um, yeah, just seeing how they move really and understand that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's also really satisfying. Like it's one thing to have a comic panel or something and bring a character to life that way, but seeing them actually move is just something else.
Mm, definitely. But yeah, I do that. It's a bit time consuming, um,
Yeah,
for me.
it's
Um,
yeah, animation is really time consuming.
yeah.
That's true.
And I have done like a rotoscopy before as well,
Cool.
which was intense as well. I think we got given like 2 months to do it, I think. Yeah. Um, that was just intense to do that. To come up with the idea, to get the video that we needed, um, and then to draw over it somehow, however we wanted to draw over it to create the
Yeah.
rotoscopy. Um, yeah, I did a few of those animations with. I used Illustrator at the time, um, and that I had to do was create the character or whatnot, and then just move the vector images to match the scene.
Yeah, vectors are also pretty cool. They can do a lot of stuff, but I haven't yet experimented with them too much. I'm
Mm,
still focused on like just traditional or not traditional, but just normal 2D animation.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
don't know. You use mostly the Adobe Cloud, right?
yeah. Um, I have the Photoshop package, which is just Photoshop, and think it's Premiere or Lightroom, sorry, which I never use. um, but see if I ever want to use it. And for me, the main reason for that is for creating my YouTube thumbnails. Um, it's the only software that has text capabilities that isn't too bad, like I remember back in the day just how Photoshop was really, really bad with text. You try and
Yeah.
type like a two word sentence and it would like flip the second word back to front, and you'd have to have them in like separate boxes for each word. um yeah, it just used to be really annoying to use it, but now it's gone good with using text to the point where it's like it's pretty much I can use this as an all-in-one now. Use it for my text, use it for my painting, and it's all good.
Yeah. I mean, the Adobe programs are pretty nice in general, but personally, I don't use them because I don't like to pay monthly for it. It's
Yeah.
just very old school in that fashion. I'm mostly using, I think, either the Affinity programs. I don't know if you know them.
Okay. Yeah,
They
yeah.
are, yeah, they have become a pretty good alternative for Adobe.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're freelancing, probably not in professional studios or something, but they're pretty solid. And, uh, I recently swapped to Clip Studio Paint,
Oh yeah.
which is a really solid software. Like, I really like it. And you can do so much with it. Like, you have illustration capabilities, animation. There's just the full package.
Yeah. Is is Clip Studio just like you buy it?
You have, yeah, you can buy it. You can buy it. I think it's like $180 for the full package.
Yeah.
But you could also pay monthly if that's something you would want. Like, you have the
Yeah.
option.
Yeah. I think I looked into something like that at one stage. Um yeah. Another program is Sketchbook. Um
Yeah,
and that's really good as well. I do have that. Have used it in the past. Um yeah.
I think it's like these three programs: Sketchbook, Procreate, Club Studio. These are all really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Um so what's you're still at university?
Oh, basically, I just got like I just graduated a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago from art school, right? So I just got the callback from university. I think was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Um, because to get there, you have to do like two application tests.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
they look at your portfolio first, and then you get a couple tests you got to do. Um, and it's not easy to get into there. So I definitely feel accomplished in that way. And it was, yeah, I'm just really happy I made it there because that was like the ultimate goal.
Mm.
And the semester is gonna start in a couple of weeks. So
Awesome.
yeah, I'm not fully started yet,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, just about so that's pretty cool.
whatever.
Yeah, it's just wondering what your kind of schedule is like. um of what you create. I guess you just graduated. Have you had much like holidays?
Uh, you mean what my schedule usually is, or
Yeah, what's your schedule like?
yeah, I mean, due to COVID, I don't really have had a schedule the last couple of years. Like,
Yeah.
at least for the last year, it was really messy. Like, you sometimes you were at school, sometimes you weren't, and
Mm.
a lot of homeschooling. And I mean, for me personally, it was pretty good because like I have my studio at home. I have all the stuff I need here. I got my a huge table to draw analog on. I got my display here. It's just easier for me to do stuff at home.
Mm.
Um, but as a result, I don't really have a schedule. I just sleep whenever and you know do my stuff. I get pretty diligent when it comes to art. Uh, if I'm working on an illustration, I just work on it until it's done, basically.
Mm.
Unless, of course, it's a really big project and I need to split it up somehow. But uh, yeah, right now I have the possibility to do it because like I'm in a space where I have holidays at the moment. I don't really have any obligations, so I can definitely invest some more time into it. Uh, but during the time where I was employed at the kindergarten, for instance, I almost wasn't drawing at all. Like that
Mm.
was a time where I really didn't have much time for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be tough. I mean, for me, I've got a full-time job at the moment. Um, and yeah, that makes it quite difficult. I only have like about 2 hours a night to illustrate, really, and to create stuff. Um, and there's quite a bit to do in that time. It's not just me drawing, me painting. Um, you know, the 2 hours I get a night. I also got some of the video editing stuff that I have to do to keep this YouTube channel going. Um, but social media stuff. So there's a bit there, and as well
Yeah,
as
that's
just chillax and relax.
yeah, sure. Um, yeah, with a full-time job, it's probably tough. I can definitely see that. But I think the important thing, if you're trying to get better, is just like it's not. I'm a firm believer that it's not actually about how much you really draw, but that everything you do draw has an intent and basically a purpose behind it. Like if if I'm starting an illustration and I'm really trying to improve and I don't know why I'm doing the illustration, then there's already a problem. Like I really need to look at it and think, okay, this time I'm really gonna focus on lighting, or this time I'm really gonna focus on proportion, just one thing at a time, but really focus on it.
Mm.
And that's something I learned about the last couple weeks or months, I guess. Uh, because I was before I went to art school, I was drawing a lot, like all the time basically, but I really wasn't getting any better. It was just doodles and stuff. But it was only once I started to actively, practice that I was really getting anywhere. And even if you just have like, I don't know, 1 hour, 2 hours a day, I think that's in the long run, that's enough. As long as, whatever you do in this time has direction in some form.
Yeah, definitely. It's basically focusing on one certain thing, is easier than focusing on 20 different things. Um,
Yeah. And it's also easier to just know where you went wrong if it doesn't work out.
mm,
If you have a painting where you really put everything in there, right, and try to do everything at once, and then it totally falls apart. Like where do you even start? Do you even know what went wrong? But if you're just focusing on lighting and it's not really working out, it's much easier to reverse engineer it and
mm,
just really understand what the problem is.
yeah. I mean, those things will get like smaller per se, um, you might learn a lot about perspective and things like that. And then, your lighting and color is lacking. So you
Oh
focus
yeah,
in on the
definitely.
next thing. Um, I think that's what I'm slowly doing at the moment, especially like with these 90-minute art challenges that I've been doing um, over the last couple of months or so. Slowly focusing in on these little things like proportion or lighting and color or um, perspective. Um, with each kind of one I'm doing, I'm kind of focusing in on trying to get a certain element right, um, and improving that kind of skill.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean that's always a good thing to practice.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
Awesome. Um, yeah, so what ambitions have you got?
Ooh, what ambitions? That's that's a tricky one.
Hmm.
Um, I just want to be a good artist, honestly. Like that's the end goal here. If I end up as a storyboarder, animator, I mean, I do care what I do eventually, but um, like I just want to focus on actually getting good as an artist because that's the thing. It's if you're training to be like a concept artist or something, you're not really training to be a concept artist. You're just every concept artist is a good artist first and a good concept artist second, you know. And I think Adam Duff had a good video about that recently where he just basically talks about the importance of just choosing a path and not like waiting your whole life for the perfect thing to come along. And uh, by the time that actually does happen, if it happens, it's probably already too late. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not trying to limit myself too much by that. I'll just focus on university, and then who know who this stuff takes me.
yeah, yeah. I say I've watched quite a bit of Adam Duff's videos. Um, he's a great guy. So hopefully everyone else goes follow him. Um, yeah.
Yeah, he's
But yeah, I think in one of his videos, yeah, he was talking about that. Um, but he's talking about not having kind of fear. Um,
oh yeah,
you know, just going for it. Yeah, like you said, it's um, if you wait around and just kind of think it through a lot, it might disappear. If you don't just go for it.
yeah,
That's what he's kind of
definitely.
yeah. That's what he kind
Like
of said.
it's like it's wanting to winning the lottery but never actually playing it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the one.
no, I think that's something really important, and I think it's also something that's not talked about enough in the art community. Like, everyone focuses on the hard skills like painting and drawing and all that jazz, but mindset and attitude is such an important thing if you're wanting to really get anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I was like I really experienced this myself over the last couple of years because I was always a really passive kind of person, um, a little bit negative, I think for the most part, and um, if you're always just waiting for opportunities to come your way, that's not good. Like it just won't happen. And what you also talked about fear is yeah, it's really important. Like if you go on ArtStation or on Instagram and instantly get discouraged by all the great artwork and stuff, like you have already lost basically. You really need to find a way to get you motivated. And if I look at artwork or artists I really admire, I take that as a challenge, right? I, I think the motivation of wanting to catch up to your favorite artists is also something really powerful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Attitude and what was it? Yeah, and mindset. It's definitely an important aspect of an artist. Most artists that I've met that are professionals, they're very eager to talk to you. They're happy. Look at Ian McCraig per se, someone I've met before. Um, I didn't have the courage at the time to go up and say hi, but just watching him live, seeing a lot of his videos and things of him just
Yeah,
talking, the way he talks to people, the stories he tells. Um, he has a really great mindset. A lot of these other artists, Adam Duff, a guy called Dan Ekus, they all have that, and they wouldn't have been where they got today if they didn't have that personality, you know. Um, for
yeah,
instance, with Ian McCraig, he he got rejected a few times, and then he got the courage to go into one of these buildings. I can't remember which building, but he went into it, stormed in with his portfolio, um, and yeah, he eventually got the job. Um, It was funny because one of his phone calls, he was calling into the studio, was really, really short, and it was like, "Hi, I'm Ian," or something like that. Um, yeah, it's an interesting story about that. So you might have to, you might be online somewhere if you look that up. But um, you know, he definitely, yeah, he has personality that, with his courage and everything like that, got him to where he was. Um, and same,
sure.
you know, same for me with this channel. I wouldn't have got as far as I have at the moment. I haven't made it very far. Um, but without my kind of personality, I wouldn't have got to where I am today. Um, because I wouldn't have reached out to a lot of people, um, and just been a part of kind of the art community, uh, and also improved, you know, over the years, and kept going, keep creating, and yeah, just keep moving forward.
Yeah. It's also really nice to see that development, I guess. Especially for us artists, it's probably not the easiest thing to be that outgoing. I think a lot of us are just a little bit more reclusive and vulnerable in nature, right? Um, so it always takes like some measurement of willpower to really get there.
Mm,
Um, but it's definitely something that will not only help you in art, but in just in life in general. Um, like once I changed my mindset myself, tried to be more positive, more ambitious with my art. I think that really affected my regular life as well. Like I'm way more outgoing than I ever used to be, and I definitely wouldn't be here right now if I just kept on doing the same old for however many years.
mm, yeah, yeah. It's you gotta stay on the positive side. Whatever kind of life throws at you,
Yeah, definitely.
and that yeah, it does reflect in your art. If you kind of give up and all that, you probably maybe not post as much, won't improve as much, um, and it will yeah reflect in your work. So, have you
Yeah.
ever
Mm.
seen those challenges where they kind of I think there's a few of them. There's one where they have a picture of them and then they have all their work around them.
Oh, yeah, have seen a few on Instagram, I guess.
Yeah. It kind of, show some of them are really good that they show, if they see the image, they can see what the artist kind of looks like in a way. Um, so some are really good in that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I was toying with the idea of participating myself, but I just haven't got around to it yet.
yeah. Well, there are things like that that are interesting that it's interesting to see, the artist and what the artist actually looks like, um, or how they, you know, some of them how you might be able to physically see them or something, how they actually look and interact with people and that kind of thing. It shows in their work sometimes. For instance, like Ian McCraig with his very bold, you know, um, artistic thing, or someone like Bobby Chio. You can see his kind of personality in his work. Um, it's another one who was a Disney artist. Um, and he worked. Do you know? Ever heard of Teacher's Pet?
I don't think so.
Okay, I can't remember his name off the top of my tongue. Um, but he had a really interesting style. Um, and yeah, at first I saw his like art style. I didn't know at the time that he was actually the creator of Teacher's Pet. Um, so anyone listening probably look him up. But he's a inspiration of mine as well. But you see him and you just know that he's the creator of that show. He has that kind of look to him that would be like, oh yeah, in a way. So that's interesting to see. Um,
Yeah, it's always fun to see the creators, especially of like shows like I don't know, Rick and Morty or South Park. You know, those really uh,
oh, that's his
kind of
name.
extreme, strange shows.
Yeah, keep
But
going.
the people working on them are always pretty fun.
Mm, mm. I just
So
um got to know it's actually Gary Baseman I'm talking about. Um, he's a great artist. But yeah, seeing his style was interesting. I didn't see it at first that he actually created that show because it looked quite dark and gruesome.
yeah,
But it's good that he did like a Disney show and it was kind of in that dark and gruesome look, but it was Disney. It was interesting. Um,
do you know the name of the show or
yeah, Teacher's Pet. I was talking
oh,
about.
Teacher?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
might want to check this one.
yeah, but yeah, it's interesting to see what these artists do and create. Um, so yeah, thanks for coming in today, and
Sure, no problem.
it's great. I was gonna ask you how you found this channel.
I came here through Adam Duff.
Oh, awesome.
Like
That's right. I
he
think,
did one the shout out once, I
yeah,
guess.
I
Yeah,
think I remember now that you commented on a video quite a while back. I think I'm pretty sure.
yeah, probably.
So that's awesome. It's great, you actually reached out on my YouTube channel. It's awesome. It's great that people are reaching out um, to come in. It's awesome that you came in. So
Sure, happy to have been here.
any last
So,
little words or anything?
oof, yeah, I guess just encouragement in general for anyone struggling. Like if you're in a spot where you're just not happy with your art, it's just keep going.
Mm,
Like
definitely.
if you lose, you don't have a chance of getting there anyway, so might as well keep going, right?
Awesome. There's been Allan Redhill here today. I'll show you his Instagram. Links down in the description. Thanks everyone for checking out this video and coming in. Keep drawing, keep creating, and see you in the next video. Bye.